Gilberta is, in my opinion, one of the most misunderstood units in organized Enfield. While buffers like Jahi can increase nature and cryo amplification for the entire team based on how much intellect stats she has, Gilberta on the other hand needs invulnerability stacks to get more art susceptibility than what you get from the base buff right here. This becomes a bit of a problem because only her combo skill can apply invulnerability stack, and putting other units like Shen and Amba to apply more waste slots for potential buffers that you can replace them with to make your DPS do even more damage. However, the invulnerability stacks issue can easily be fixed by taking advantage of hidden mechanics that the game does not tell you, which can actually make you stack up to 4 vulnerability stacks with only Gilberta, especially in a Laevatain team composition per my testing, so that you can nuke with her enhanced skill, which has a pretty huge damage scaling. But first, let's go over the basics of Gilberta and Laevatain's kit for me to properly explain how this synergy actually works. Gilberta's skill is primarily meant for crowd control and can be very useful in multi-wave endgame content like Umbro Monument if your main DPS is mostly single target focused. After grouping the enemies, it will inflict nature on those that were caught up in the vacuum. Another benefit of using her skill is to get energy for her ultimate, but you won't really use her skills more often in single target endgame modes because we will be spamming her combo skills more often to get energy instead of her skills in the single target rotation that I'm about to cover in this video. Her ultimate will do pretty decent damage due to the high damage scaling, inflict nature, slows down enemies, and apply up to 30% base art susceptibility on enemies when it's triple crowned, as you can see right here. But the buff can be extended by 3% per the number of vulnerability stacks on the enemy, which is where her combo skill comes in. It applies 1 vulnerability stack whenever any teammate causes an arch reaction, which is basically mixing 2 elements in the game. However, there are several units in the game that can forcibly trigger arch reactions without necessarily mixing 2 elements together, which is where Laevatain team compositions comes in. Her enhanced skill, when she has 4 stacks of Melt and Flame, can forcibly apply combustion, which can trigger Gilberta's combo skill. Wolfguard's ultimate can also forcibly apply combustion, which can trigger Gilberta's combo skill. The final method of triggering Gilberta's combo skill is by letting her ultimate come in contact with a heat infliction by Wolfguard or Akakuri in a Laevatain team composition. Now that we know the methods of triggering Gilberta's combo skill, let's dive into what makes it possible to stack more invulnerability stacks with only Gilberta to increase her buffing capabilities. Vulnerability stack will last for exactly 20 seconds on an enemy, as you can see right here in this footage. Gilberta also has a combo skill with a cooldown of 20 seconds. On paper, it seems it's not possible to stack more than 1 vulnerability stack with only Gilberta in the team. But what the game does not tell you is that the invulnerability stack duration can actually be extended with combo skills, perfect dodges, when an enemy enters a stagger state, and finally casting ultimate. Using the term extended is not entirely accurate, and the more technical term here is time slow or time stop. Essentially what this means is that whenever an enemy with a status fall off effects like art inflictions and vulnerability stacks gets slowed by any of the effects that I mentioned, it slows down the regular cooldown timer of the status fall off effect or stops the timer entirely during ultimate animations. A good example is this clip right here. I used Wolfguard's ultimate to trigger Gilberta's combo skill, which applied 1 vulnerability stack, and then proceeded with my rotations, which I'll guide you through very shortly. But you can see right here that when I used Laevatain's enhanced skill, it activated Gilberta's combo skill again while still having the first vulnerability stack on the enemy, gaining 2 vulnerability stacks in the process. What this means is that the time slow mechanic does not affect or slow down the cooldown of the combo skill itself, but only affects the status fall off effect on the enemy. So with this in mind, you don't really need to think or worry about wasting a Gilberta combo skill, because you might be thinking that if you use it at the wrong time, it might not come back again for you to use it when you actually need it or when your DPS is ready to do damage. But per the footage that I used as an example, you can see that this is not actually the case, and spamming her combo skills more often can actually help get her ultimate back up very often, which can fix any low ultimate gain efficiency that you might have on her. So the takeaway here when using Gilberta in any art team composition is that as long as you have more methods of triggering art reactions, which is pretty easy in a Laevatain team composition as I mentioned earlier, you don't really have to worry about properly timing her combo skills. Now let me take you through the rotations, but before that, here's the build that I'm running on all teammates in case you guys are curious. Gilberta is using her signature weapon, but if you don't have that, go with Stanza of Memorials. I'm on the 3-piece Zeronite, and she's at potential 0. Laevatain is running her signature weapon, but I don't really have cracked essence pieces yet, so her damage in the rotation that I'm about to cover may be lower than what you're expecting. I'm running 3-piece Hot Work, and she's at potential 0. Wolfguard is running this weapon because I'm mostly focused on getting as much ultimate gain efficiency as much as possible for smooth rotations. The same applies to his gear. I'm using pieces that grants more ultimate gain efficiency, and he's at potential 0. Akakuri has the same gear as Wolfguard, but I'm using Thermite Cutter for the team-wide attack buff, and she's at max potential. Now let's get on with the rotations. You first prepare a final strike and then use Akakuri's skill, which will trigger Wolfguard's combo skill for you to use. Then hit the enemy with a final strike, which will absorb the 2 heat inflictions into Melting Flame, and then cast Laevatain's ultimate. Basic attack 5 times, which will apply heat on the 3rd basic attack and consume it with the 5th basic attack, giving you 3 Melting Flame stacks. Then cast Wolfguard's ultimate and use Akakuri's skill to apply heat to help Wolfguard with energy recovery. Wolfguard's ultimate will trigger Laevatain's and Gilberta's combo skill for you to use. You will now get 4 Melting Flame stacks with Laevatain after using the combo skill. Now cast Gilberta's ultimate, which will come in contact with the heat that you inflicted with Akakuri, causing corrosion. Then cast Akakuri's ultimate to get the attack buff, link buff, and SP recovery. Now use Laevatain's enhanced skill to nuke the enemy. Akakuri's combo skill got triggered here for me to use because the enemy stagger bar is halfway filled. At this moment, simply spam basic attacks which will trigger Wolfguard's combo skill for you to use. Cast Akakuri's skill to apply heat and continue to spam basic attacks until Laevatain leaves the ultimate state. Essentially what we're doing here is that we're prepping for the next rotation. When Laevatain leaves the ultimate state, she'll be having 4 Melting Flame stacks, so use her enhanced skill to recover energy and trigger her combo skill in addition to Gilberta's and Akakuri's for you to use. This is where the invulnerability stacks will get reapplied and refreshed by Gilberta. I had a little bit of time here before the enemy enters the second phase animation, so I used Akakuri's skill to apply heat once again for Laevatain to absorb. But this can be risky because if the attack doesn't connect with the enemy before he goes into the second phase, you might end up wasting SP. So to be on a safer side, I recommend letting enemies finish their animations before you start applying heat to prepare for the next rotation. Now right here I have 2 stacks of heat infliction and 1 Melting Flame stack, which means that 1 additional heat infliction is needed, so you have to apply heat with Akakuri, which will trigger Wolfguard's combo skill for you to use and help him generate energy for his ultimate to start the second rotation. Basic attack to absorb the heat infliction to get maximum Melting Flame stacks, and use her enhanced skill to get energy and Melting Flame. This will trigger Laevatain's combo skill and Gilberta's again, so use it to get 3 vulnerability stacks. Now we make sure that we have 2 Melting Flame stacks before casting Laevatain's ultimate like the first rotation, and I can do that by using a final strike to absorb this heat infliction on the enemy. You can now cast her ultimate and basic attack 5 times. If the 3rd basic attack triggers Wolfguard's combo skill, don't use it. It's better to use his ultimate first before using his combo skill to help him properly recover energy for his ultimate. But if his ultimate is not back up at that point, feel free to use the combo skill to make the ultimate readily available. Using his ultimate will now trigger Laevaitain's combo skill, so use it to get the final Melting Flame stack. Just like the first rotation, we apply heat with Akakuri's skill to help with corrosion, but it wasn't really needed here since I already had one heat infliction from Wolfguard's combo skill. But it helps if you have a specific sequence in mind so that you can easily repeat the rotation. Cast Gilberta's ultimate, which will trigger corrosion, and you can see here that Gilberta's combo skill is back up again because of the corrosion reaction, so I can use it to get 4 vulnerability stacks. Use Akakuri's ultimate and then nuke again with Laevaitain's enhanced skill. And the best thing about this team composition and this rotation is that it always makes sure that you have at least 1 stack or 2 stack of vulnerable on the enemy when Laevatain is doing damage, even if you mess up a few steps along the way, so you don't have to do anything complicated like keeping the cooldown timer or stuff like that in mind, because you have more methods of causing arch reactions as I mentioned earlier. So in simple terms, as long as you have the specific sequence in mind to perform the rotations, you can basically turn the rest of your brain off. I'll be making more unique synergies like this one in the future, so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel. Our Discord link will be in the pinned comment if you're having any issues with the game or you just want a place to chill or hang out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.